My family rented a cute winter cabin for a no phones, no drama weekend. But on the first night, something outside started calling each of our names, including my Roblox username. And that was not even the worst part. So I am Leo. I was 15 when this happened, and if I am being honest, I did not want to go on that trip at all. My dad had this whole family bonding idea. No city, no friends, no Wi-Fi, just us, snow, and real conversations. Which sounded like punishment. I was supposed to play a special winter event with my friends in Roblox that weekend. Limited time items, snowboard mounts, all of that. And instead, I got mountains and a random wooden cabin. I was already mad before we even left the driveway. But things were going to get a lot worse than just missing a game. It was me, my little sister Mia, my mom, my dad, and our dog Pixel. Pixel is this mixed breed, part golden retriever, part chaos. Friendly with everyone, never scared of anything. Which is why what happened later messed with my head so much. The drive took forever. The higher we went into the mountains, the more our signal dropped. My last message to my friends literally half sent and then failed. Gone. My dad sounded way too happy when the lines on my phone went empty. No distractions, he said. Yeah, great. We finally pulled up to the cabin, and I will admit, it looked kind of nice. Snow everywhere. Dark trees. This small wooden cabin with smoke already coming from the chimney. The key was in a lockbox. Dad had this email from the owner with basic instructions, where the wood was, where the backup generator was, and this one weird line at the end. Leave the radio on channel 3 at night. Do not turn the dial. My dad laughed. Probably just old people stuff. But my mom looked off for a moment, like she recognized something. Then she shook it off and said it was nothing. It was not nothing. Inside, the cabin was cozy. Big fireplace, old couch, 2 small bedrooms, and this little loft where my sister and I were going to sleep. There was an ancient radio on a shelf, the kind with a big round dial and a glowing orange display. It was already turned to channel 3, just like the email said. When Dad plugged it in, it crackled to life. Not music, not talking, just static. Loud, strong, like a storm made of noise. Mia covered her ears. Turn it off. Dad turned it down a bit instead. The owner said to leave it on. Maybe it helps with the signal or something. That did not make sense at all. But none of us argued. We should have. The first hour was actually okay. We ate. We played cards. My mom tried to start this conversation about everyone sharing their goals for next year. I tried not to roll my eyes too hard. Pixel lay near the fireplace, chewing on his toy, tail thumping. Every now and then his ears twitched at the radio, but he stayed chill. The sun went down fast. Like someone flipped a switch. 1 second soft sunset. Next second just black outside the windows. No streetlights. No houses. Nothing. And then the generator flickered. The lights dimmed. The radio hissed louder, then cut off completely. For a second, everything was dark and quiet. I heard my own breathing. Mia grabbed my arm. Then the power came back, and the radio snapped on again. Except now the static sounded wrong. Like there were almost voices inside it. It was like a bunch of people whispering in a broken microphone. Words half-formed. Syllables glitching. It reminded me of those laggy Roblox horror lobbies where voice chat cuts in and out. But slower. Wetter. Like something was trying to copy human speech and failing. I said, "Do you hear that?" My dad said it was just interference. My mom turned it down even more. Pixel got up. He went over to the radio, stared at it, then growled. A real growl. Deep. Pixel never growled at anything. And that was the first moment I actually got scared. Later that night, everyone went to bed. Mia and I climbed up to the loft, which had a small window looking right out at the trees. The snow outside reflected the moon, so it was all silver and quiet. My parents went to their room downstairs. Pixel was supposed to sleep in the main room near the fireplace. I lay on my mattress, staring at the wooden ceiling, thinking about all the fun my friends were having without me. No notifications. No messages. Just me and the weird static music downstairs. I was almost asleep when I heard it. Crunch, like a footstep in the snow, right under the loft window. Then another. Closer. My eyes snapped open. Everything in me went cold. I told myself it was just an animal. A deer. Or a fox. Or something. But Pixel started barking from downstairs. Not playful barking. Full-body, furious barking. Like he wanted to tear something apart. Mia sat up in her bed. What is going on? I told her it was nothing. I did not even believe myself. The crunching moved around the cabin. Slow, careful, and then it stopped directly under our window. I did not look outside. I do not know why. Something in my brain just went do not look. Then I heard it. Through the wall. Through the cold. A voice. It sounded like a man. Far away but also right there. Hello, is someone inside? Please open the door. My whole body locked up. Pixel lost it downstairs, claws scraping the floor, barking like he was going to explode. I heard my dad's door open. Footsteps. Hushed voices. The man's voice came again, a little louder, a little more desperate. They are out here, please, I'm begging you, let me in. Mia whispered, someone needs help. My brain screamed, yes. But my stomach said, something is wrong. I climbed down the ladder and went to the edge of the loft, looking down. My dad was standing near the front door. Pixel was between him and the door, fur puffed, teeth showing, pushing against Dad's legs to keep him back. Dad reached for the handle. Pixel snapped at his hand. And that was when things went from scary to full nightmare. My mom rushed over and pulled my dad back. What if it is a trap? She whispered. The knocking started. Slow, heavy pounding on the door. Boom, boom, boom. Please, the man shouted. They will kill me, just unlock it. Something moved past the living room window. Just a shadow. But too tall. Too thin. Wrong. I froze. Then the radio turned itself up. The static roared. And under it, the whispers started again. Except now, they were saying my name. At first, I thought I was imagining it. Then I heard it clearly. Leo, Leon, Leo. Glitchy, like a broken recording. Repeating. Stumbling over the syllables. Mia clutched the railing of the loft. The voice outside changed. It stopped sounding like some random man. It shifted. Smoothed out. And then, it sounded exactly like my dad. Same tone. Same way he calls me when he is annoyed. Leo, open the door, help me. But my dad was standing right there in the hallway, staring at the door like he wanted to throw up. Pixel barked so hard he started coughing. I realized the voice outside was copying him. Badly. And then everything got worse. Whatever was outside moved. More footsteps. Not just one set. Not two. Dozens. They circled the cabin. The knocking spread from the front door to the side walls, to the back door, to every window. Random hits. Scratches. Thumps. Like a bunch of hands or claws testing the wood. The radio went crazy. The static crackled, and now there were more voices in it. Mia's. My mom's. Even mine. Jumbled words repeating. Let me in. Please. Open up. Over and over. My mom grabbed the cabin manual from the table, flipping through pages with shaking hands. Buried under the normal instructions, at the very back in faded handwriting, there was a note. If voices come after dark, do not open the doors. They are not people. They do not like the radio. Her hands started shaking even more. The shape outside our living room window pressed closer. I could not see its face clearly, just a darker patch in the dark. Like a shadow trying to push into the glass. The glass groaned. Like it was bending. A long stretched-out hand shape appeared against it. Too many joints. Too long fingers. I lost control of my breathing. My dad whispered, we need to get to the car. My mom looked at him like he was insane. Through that. He swallowed. We wait until they pull back. Then we make a run for it. We cannot stay if the windows break. The radio hissed louder, almost screaming now. Pixel barked at it, then at the door, then at all the walls. He looked around like he did not know where to protect us first. Then from right outside the window, clear as anything, in a calm, soft voice that sounded exactly like my mom, the thing said, "Mia, it is Mom. I am stuck outside. Open the door for me, sweetie." My real mom covered her mouth with her hand. Mia started crying. And that was when I realized I could not just stand there shaking. I grabbed my boots and jammed my feet into them with no socks. My hands were ice cold. "Open the back door," I said. "We go together." My dad looked at me like I had grown another head. But then he nodded. We made a plan in like 10 seconds. Mom would hold the flashlight. Dad would grab the car keys and the metal poker from the fireplace. I would stick with Mia and hold her hand no matter what. Pixel would go first. The banging moved toward the front again, like they had heard us whisper and were getting excited. We went to the back door instead. My dad counted under his breath. 1, 2, 3. He yanked the door open. Cold air slammed into us. The world outside was white and black. Snow and trees. For 1 second there was nothing there. Pixel bolted out. We followed. I could hear my heart, the crunch of snow, Mia's breath as she tried not to sob. We were halfway to the car when the shadows stepped away from the walls of the cabin. They had been pressed flat against it. Hiding there. Waiting. They peeled off the wood like stains coming to life. Tall, thin shapes. No faces I could really see, just those weird long hands and mouths that opened too wide when they hissed. They did not run. They glided. Straight for us. My mom shone the flashlight at them. The shadows flinched. They twisted away from the light like it hurt. Pixel charged at the nearest one, teeth snapping. His body went right through it like smoke, but the thing still jerked back and let out this awful static scream. We reached the car. Dad fumbled with the keys. The first shadow reached us. It grabbed my ankle. Its hand felt like frozen wire tightening around my leg. Not warm. Not cold. Just wrong. I slipped. My knee slammed into the snow. Mia screamed my name. The radio sound burst from somewhere right next to my ear. Static and then my own voice saying, "It is okay, stay." Pixel lunged at my leg. Not at me, at the shadow hand. He ripped and bit at the air around my ankle, snarling. The hand let go. I kicked wildly, scrambled up, and dove into the backseat with Mia. Dad started the engine. Something heavy landed on the roof. Claws scraped the metal. The whole car shook. Dad floored it anyway. There was a bump, and another, like we were driving over fallen logs. Except there had not been any logs behind us. We did not stop driving until we hit the first gas station down the mountain. Bright lights. People. Noise. It felt fake. Too normal. We all went inside. My dad called the owner of the cabin with the number from the email. No answer. He left a shaky message saying we were leaving the keys at the gas station and never coming back. My mom hugged Pixel so tight he whined. Mia would not let go of my hand. She kept whispering, "It sounded like you. It sounded like you, Leo." We booked a room at a cheap motel nearby for the night. I lay on the bed fully dressed, staring at the ceiling. The silence felt too loud. I kept hearing the voices in my head. My dad's. My mom's. My own. All copying. All wrong. I completely broke down at that point, but the worst part was still coming. A few weeks later, we were back home. School. Homework. Noise. Everything was fine again. At least that was what my parents kept saying. We never talked about the cabin unless Mia woke up from a nightmare. Then my mom would just say, "We are safe, it is over." I went back to playing Roblox like before, trying to pretend life was normal again. Hanging out in horror games felt less scary than my own memories, honestly. One night I was in my room queuing into a game when a friend request popped up. Username Neighbor3. Avatar basic, default smile, nothing special. The message attached said, "I heard you in the snow. You left the radio too early. Come back so we can finish talking, Leo. My full name was not on my account, only my username, but it used my real name. I checked the profile. Account created years ago. Last online, the exact date of our cabin trip. Favorite game, some random winter map no one played anymore. My stomach dropped. I blocked the account immediately. Then I logged off. Then I turned off my computer. I went to the living room, and Pixel lifted his head from the couch. His ears twitched like he had heard something far away. The TV was off. The house was quiet. But above all of that, in the back of my brain, I could almost hear it again. That soft, broken static. Trying so hard to sound human. Trying so hard to sound like people I loved. Leo. I stood there for a long time, just listening, trying to convince myself it was all in my head. My dad walked in, saw my face, and just pulled me into a hug without asking anything. For the first time, I hugged him back like I meant it. Because whatever was in that snow, whatever pressed against those windows, whatever learned our names and tried to wear our voices like a costume, it could copy how we sounded. But it still did not understand how it felt when we held on to each other and refused to open the door. And sometimes, late at night, when everything is silent, I still think I hear static behind the walls. I just hope it never learns a new voice. The voice of someone else standing outside that cabin, asking to be let in.